Welcome to the Leader Pulse podcast, the podcast with actionable insights for leaders revolutionizing the world of work. In today's episode, we're releasing a bonus episode, which is the full interview between Elizabeth Bryant, the Chief People Officer at one of my favorite companies, Southwest Airlines, and our co-founder and CEO and co-host of this podcast, Matt Tresidder. We've learned from Elizabeth over the last 2 episodes. Matt and I went really deep on this idea of how people development truly drives performance, as well as what does it look like to grow and develop in your own career as Elizabeth shares her story. So in this episode, you get to hear the raw, unedited interview between Matt and Elizabeth. So let's take a listen.
I saw the press release when you moved into the Chief People Officer role at Southwest, and the line that jumped out to me was, it said you were focused on the long-term development and care of the people at Southwest. And it reminded me of this quote. I'm not sure if you've heard this from Simon Sinek. He says, "People are not like wet towels to be wrung out. They are not objects from which we can squeeze every last drop of performance that might yield more output over time, but it often comes at a cost of our people and to the culture in the long term." So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, this is obviously what you do all day, every day, but talk to me about why it's so important for the care and development of our people.
Yeah, well, I love that quote, and obviously he is right on. You know, I think there's no other way to look at it. I think your people are your strategy, are your success factor for the future. If you don't have a strong people strategy, meaning you do not have an authentic desire to invest in their development, in their growth, then I think that cuts your strategy off at the knees, because your people are the ones that will define the success. You can have the financial strategy, you can have the business strategy, but if you don't factor in how to care for your people, they won't be able, or they may not want to deliver on that.
And what do you say to those executives that would say, or the leaders that would say, you know, that feels very much like a nice to have? You know, we've got goals, we've got priorities. That is not the top of our list right now.
Well, I think you can look anywhere and find the evidence around employee engagement and the impact on that on bottom line. And those organizations that focus on their people and truly put their employees at the center of the decision-making process, those are the companies that are successful. And those employees who have a desire to stay there, feel invested, feel heard, feel seen, they work harder for the organization. You know, people don't work for companies, they work for people.
Right.
And a company who has strong leadership and has the ability to help their employees reach their fullest potential are the ones that are most successful.
Would you go as far as to say that it's a competitive advantage for a business that has a culture around that? Or would you say it's you? Yeah. How would you view that?
Well, I think, honestly, I think it's so simple that people just don't understand it. It is as simple as caring for your people leads to a culture of high engagement. A culture of high engagement leads to success. And oftentimes at Southwest, you know, you hear the flight attendant talk about put your own oxygen mask on before caring for others, right? Taking care of others, because you need to have the oxygen. That's how we look at people development at Southwest. We've got to feed our leaders. And by doing that, they take care of their employees. And by taking care of their employees, they then take care of our customers, who then continue to come back.
I love that. When you think about measures of success of this, do you think more qualitatively or quantitatively in terms of measures of success of engagement, or people feeling like that care and development within the culture is actually happening?
Oh, I think it's a quantitative measure. Absolutely. I think you can see a direct impact between the support that an employee feels and their success in their job, in their role. And you have KPIs to measure that.
Okay. Do you have any favorite stories of, because your role, I imagine, creates so many moments at Southwest where people feel recognized, they feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. Do you have any favorite stories over the years that give you wind for your sails to make you keep going and keep pushing this effort?
I mean, there are so many stories. It's hard to even decide on one. I can tell you a personal story that I had several years ago. I was, you're about to be a new parent. I was a new parent, and I had 2 little ones at home, and I was at the point in my career, I was relatively new. leader, but I felt like I needed to make a change because I wasn't sleeping and all those things. So I went to my leader and I said, hey, I need you to know that I'm probably not 100% right now. I'm still having a child that's waking up a lot at night, which means I'm up a lot at night, which means I'm probably not my best during the day.
Right.
And he looked at me and he said, Elizabeth, having you at 50% is better than not having you at all. Take a deep breath. This is a moment in your career. It's going to be okay. And you're important enough that we're going to wait.
Wow.
And that investment in me was obviously a turning point for me in my career. And it's something that I try to carry on and share with others.
It's so special. What would you say to the leader that this isn't their priority, that they are focused on more of the financial plan, they're more focused on the budget, they're more focused on performance than they are on the people development and care side? What would you say to them?
Well, I think I would first say that Southwest wouldn't be the place for them. Probably. They might not feel at home here.
Yeah.
And secondly, I would say they're missing a critical opportunity to improve the overall health of their business.
Okay. Wow. Love that. Last question. I think a lot of people outside looking in can be envious of your story and your journey. I want to be a manager one day, and then I want to go all the way up to become a chief people officer. I think inside looking out can sometimes be a little different than outside looking in. What would you say to those folks that would aspire to have a journey like yours, a story like yours, to go from, I mean, you've been there right from the jump and you've gone all the way through.
Right.
Any thoughts around that incredible growth trajectory?
Sure. I think I've had 14 different positions here at Southwest. And along the way, I never anticipated staying here. My goal was not to have a long-term career in one place.
Right.
I didn't set out to do that, but I was able to continue to grow here. And that's been a key for me. I've been surrounded by leaders and team members who invested in me, who saw things in me that maybe I didn't see in myself. And so I think my advice would be to always surround yourself, find a mentor that can help guide you, find champions in the workplace that can speak on your behalf when you're not there. Always find people who will tell you the truth. As you grow in leadership, it's really important that you have people around you that can help you discern what's working, what's not working, giving you that clear and honest feedback. And so, again, I think it is about people. It is about surrounding yourself with the right people. I'm typically smarter than yourself, which I have done for my entire career, and certainly proven to be effective.
I love that. I love that. I really appreciate your time today, Elizabeth. I know you've got a million things going on. Even just those small snippets I know is going to encourage someone. So thanks for taking the time to do it.
Well, Matt, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to today's episode with Elizabeth Bryant, Chief People Officer of Southwest Airlines. Make sure you connect with her on LinkedIn. She is a phenomenal leader with practical insights that she shares often over there on LinkedIn. We also want to remind you that we send out a weekly email with practical insights for you revolutionizing the world of work. So go to leadr.com and sign up for Leader Pulse, our weekly email. And we'd love to hear from you on social media. Follow us, comment, share your thoughts and what you're learning as you listen along at Leadr Inc. You can find us across all social media platforms and also watch this on YouTube, where we've got some behind the scenes special practical insights, edits as you watch the videos. We'll see you next time.